Jesus looks at him and says, "What do you want me to do for you?" And he said, "I want to receive my sight again." And Jesus said, "Receive your sight, your faith has made you well." Now watch this. And immediately he regained his sight, and immediately he began following him, and immediately he began glorifying God, and immediately when all the people saw it, they began to praise God. To do for you. I think there's something in this man's life that makes this story a little more compelling than just somebody getting healed. First of all, there was a recognition of who Jesus was. He wasn't just Jesus from a place called Nazareth. Nazareth was the place of his belonging, if you will. That's where he grew up. But he recognized him as Jesus, son of David, which is essentially saying the King Messiah. Everything else opens up to us. He's not asking for anything at first but the mercy of God. And when he finds the mercy of God, then his life begins to change. There's that recognition he has. Then there's that response. That response. Bring him over here. He didn't just shy back. He said, "Have mercy on me." And he goes right to the presence of Jesus Christ. You can't get to Jesus by reading a book. You can know about him by reading a book. But to go into his presence, acknowledging who he is and our great need for him, is a different matter altogether. Remember, he just wants a few coins. He just wants to make enough for the day. And all of a sudden, what do you want me to do for you? His whole life lies before him. All the resources of heaven are now his. You ever wish that there was a do-over in your life? I wish I hadn't said that. I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I hadn't brought this on my family. I wish I had not made that terrible decision, that uninformed, unspiritual decision that I made. Listen, I was thinking about this all week. I could fill a book up, and I'm sure you can too. He gets a do-over. All he wanted was a do-over. Lord, I'd like to see again. Am I going to recognize God and I need something in my life? I might want to ask the following questions. If God grants this that I ask him today, will this really draw me closer to the Lord? Or will I get the answer and just go back to the way I've been living? There's nothing like a crisis in your life, an illness or a death, a job loss, a marital crisis. There's nothing like a crisis in your life to say, "Lord, take care of this. I got a kid that needs you. My business is failing. I need some help here." Well, will this bring you closer to the Lord if God grants that request? I'm not saying the request is misapplied. I'm not saying the request is wrong. Our intent may be, as far as we know, the best, but we should at least stop before we express a desire or express a prayer or a plea to God. God, if this thing really happens, if I ask you to do this in my life, my great hope is that it draws me closer to you. And you know what? If you don't do it, I want to be closer to you. If I never get what I ask, I'm going to trust you. If you say no or wait, I'm going to trust you. But I'm begging, I'm asking, I want to be in your presence as the living Son of God to draw closer to you. I'll draw closer to the Lord. But if God says yes to this prayer, and I'm desperate, God, to pray this, I have to ask myself this question: will I follow the Lord? Or will I just go back to being the same old me? Will I follow the Lord? Will I influence people around me? Another question you have to ask: if God will do this, and I put this at the end instead of the beginning, because I think if you put it at the beginning, you often can say yes. Will this truly give glory to the Lord? Every time someone's healed, they give glory to the Lord. Every time God gets us out of a situation, that gives God glory. There's no doubt about that. But if I'm not following the Lord, if I don't have a change of heart, if my life isn't deepened, if I don't come before the Lord with empty hands and say, "I'm asking you for this do-over, but you do whatever you want in my life. I want to draw closer. I want to go farther. I want to give you glory. And I want others to ride the wave of my blessing so that they can come to know you and follow you.